Guys, if you want to learn how to not goof up, then you better watch this one. In today's episode, we are discussing pressure washing business advice for beginners. Now, the topic that we are actually going to do a deep dive into today, guys, is all of the common mistakes that new guys make, and a lot of guys make one or two, if not all of these mistakes. Now, I myself am guilty, by the way, of several of these mistakes. Now, the real genesis of this video, if you will, is that, as you guys well know, I network with a lot of people, in the industry, and some of you guys listening to this video, I talk to you on a monthly basis, and some of you guys are coaching clients of mine as well. So, I've been able to gather a lot of information on this topic, and it's like the same common theme that I keep seeing over and over again with a lot of new guys. So I thought it would be great to make a video about it, so you guys don't fall into some of these pitfalls yourself. So, and I got seven things on this for you guys, and make sure you stay to the very end, guys, because I guarantee you the number 7 on this list, 99.9999% of you guys are falling victim to this as well. So, number 1 thing I got on my list for you guys today is you're trying to grow too fast. Some of you guys I talk to, man, you just, you're trying to go from 0 to 120 miles an hour in like under 4 or 5 seconds. And one of the things about my channel, guys, is that I want to teach you guys like the real stuff behind the curtain stuff. Because, I very often mention this in some of my episodes that, guys, my first 2 years in business, and by no means, guys, do I mean to, man, some of you guys are going to hear this and you're going to be like discouraged, I would say. But guess what? My first 2 years in the business, I did not make any money. In my third year in the business, I broke even. When I first started making money in a pressure washing business, I was into my 4th year. And like I said, this is going to discourage a lot of you guys, but there's a reason why. And it was because I didn't know my chems, I wasn't experienced, I didn't know anything about the business, I didn't know anything about the equipment, and that's why I didn't make any money. And that's why a big part of the reason why I started Mr. Bubbles, the Ask Mr. Bubbles channel on YouTube, is because I wanted to teach you guys how not to make the mistakes that I made. Now, what took me 4 or 5 years to accomplish, you guys, if you take my advice, very often have said this, guys, there's 3 basic types of people. You have a dumb person, a smart person, and a wise person. Dumb people make mistakes, never learn from them. They continue to make the same mistakes over and over and over again. That's a dumb person. Smart people make mistakes, but they learn from their mistakes. It's very rare that you see a smart person make the same mistake over and over. And then the third one is you have a wise person. A wise person learns from the mistakes of others. And that's what this channel is all about. So you guys can learn from me and learn from my mistakes. That's why I tell you these things, so you're not committing those errors, because those things, guys, will cost you time, energy, effort, and a lot of money. Okay? And some of you guys, that the problem with trying to grow too fast is because along this path, if you will, of building a successful and thriving pressure washing business, is you need to set a solid foundation for yourself. And guys, guess what? It takes time. That takes time for you to do that. I would say at the very bare minimum, sometime between 6 months to 18 months, all the way up to 3 years. Because look, you have, I think I talked about this in a previous episode. We talked about the acronym SOMA, right? SOMA, S-O-M-A. It stands for Sales, Operations, Marketing, right? Marketing and Administration. sales, operations, marketing, and administration. I talk about these things. They're the 4 pillars that you're going to need to focus on. And those are all skill sets. So you're not going to learn those things in a day or two. I've often have said this from the operational end. It's going to take you about 1,000 houses. So my question to you is this. Look at your current skill set and your equipment and where your business right now. How long would it take you to do 1,000 houses, to wash 1,000 houses? For me, it happened at the end of my 3rd season. That's why I bring this up. Once you have done 1,000 houses and you have all of that experience under your belt, man, guys, you're going to be able to identify stains. You're going to know your chems. You will have had so many different types of issues with your equipment, and you know how to troubleshoot stuff. You know how to do the tune-up on all of your equipment. So the bottom line, guys, is that it takes time. Don't try to grow too fast. You need time to develop yourself and build a solid foundation in order to learn the skills that we talked about, and the most important skill that you're going to learn. And that's why I did the marketing series from episode 51 to 59. Guys, that's a skill. You're going to have to learn how to become a great marketer if you're going to make it in a pressure washing business. That's why I recommend you go back and you watch that episode 4 or 5, each one of those episodes 4 or 5 times, and apply that stuff, right? Being a student doesn't mean anything if you don't apply the knowledge that you learn. That doesn't make any sense. So make sure you take tons of notes and go out there and you apply that stuff. But my point is this, guys, that you're not going to learn that stuff in a couple of months. You're going to have to go out there and hone that craft and practice and practice and practice in order for you to become a master. So do not fall into this trap of trying to build your business too fast. Realistically, it should take you anywhere between 8 months to 3 months to solidify. I would say something realistic is like a $10,000 a month type of plateau, in that 18-month type range. I mean, some of you guys, it's just not realistic what you're trying to do because you're trying to grow too fast. And that actually segues real nice into number 2 on my list, which is unreal expectations. Like, some of you guys, you have, I talked to this one guy. He makes $1,000 a week in his full-time job, and he was like, "Oh, I'm getting my equipment together, and my goal is my first month in business, I want to be making 10 grand a week." Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Like, guys, that's not real. Like, it just, I'm sorry to tell you this, but it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen because of the reasons that I just talked about. You need to develop yourself in sales, marketing, administration, operations. You need to get out there, learn how to do concrete cleaning, soft washing, downstreaming. You need to learn the skills out in the field that is going to be able to get you that money. Remember this, guys. Remember this. Your pay is nothing but a reflection of your skill. So the more skilled you are, the more money you're going to make. So you guys have some super unreal expectations for what you can do. Now, the reason for that being is, we live in an information age with the social media and all that, and guys putting stuff out there. But guys, I have a big company, and I'm here to tell you that you can make an enormous amount of money. You can make $100,000 a month in this business. That's real, but it's going to take time. I didn't start making big money. The first time we broke 800,000 was into my 7th year. 7 years. It's going to take you, and I have 11 years in the business. It took me 11 years to build this big brand, this big company. Okay, so you guys have to set real expectations for yourself, because when I first started in this business, guys, to me, this was, of course, back then we called it a part-time jobs, and the kids today, they refer to it as a side hustle, right? But for the old heads like me, we just called it a part-time job. And to me, that's what this was. It was a part-time job. I didn't have any, I wasn't thinking like, oh, one day I'm gonna make $1 million. No, I wasn't thinking that. Like, I was just thinking, you know, if I could make $1,000 a month as a part-time job, you know, that was going to help me out with my bills and all my utilities at the time. And then little by little, it gave me time, because my expectations were low. It gave me time to get out there and really learn the craft. You guys are trying to make a bunch of money without really knowing the craft. And that is not setting yourself up for real expectations of what you can go out there and do. Because, you know, you see me on video, guys, and it is, to me, it's super easy. And I know probably to you guys it seems what I do is very easy as well. But you guys remember, I have a tremendous amount of knowledge, a tremendous amount of skill, and I have a $30,000-$40,000 rig system. So you guys don't have that yet. So make sure that you set real expectations for yourself. Like, you're not going to quadruple your income almost overnight just by jumping into this business, because again, it's all about skill set. So remember that, guys. Your pay is a reflection of your skill. Number 3, almost every single person that I talk to, whether through email or through cell phone, I see a lot of you guys falling into this trap. And what it is this: you are too equipment focused. Like, all of you guys, a lot of you guys, most of you guys that talk to me, it's always, oh, I want to get the AR-45, and I'm going to get this, and I'm going to get that, and I'm getting this skid system, and you're too focused on the equipment, guys. I'm gonna go back to this example. When I first started my business, I actually bought a $50 pressure washer on Craigslist. I went to the guy's house. You know, once in a while I drive in front of that house, so I always remember. We were standing there, he and I, in front of his driveway, you know, and I pressure washed a part of his driveway with it. $50 pressure washer. And then from another guy, I bought a $65 ladder. The pressure washer came with the 50-foot hose. It came with the wand and a bunch of tips. And then the what's it called, the water hose, I just brought from home. So literally for me, it was like including the business cards. That's what I did. I made these little business cards, which to this day I still have back here, a box full of business cards. But anyway, I digress. The point here is, my initial investment into this business was a little under $200. I didn't have a hose reel, didn't have professional machine, didn't have professional equipment, didn't even know what a buffer tank was, didn't know anything about chems, didn't know anything about anything. I just knew that I could go out there and pressure wash some houses and make some extra income. And then what happened is, as my skills out in the field started to get better, and I started to see the potential in the business, and I started to make money, I started to get more things. Like, for example, I did a couple driveways and I bought a 100-foot hose. Then I did some houses and I bought a different ladder. Then I did a bunch of houses together. Then I bought something else. And then little by little, I went investing in my business, little by little. Then by year 3, I got to a point, by then I already knew my chems, and I started mixing chems, and I started to get more proficient. Then I remember it was right towards the end of year 3 was when I actually put my first rig system together. And it was the tanks that I had were like those, you know those 55-gallon drum tanks that come with the SH? I just had 2 of those, and I used those for my water and my chem tanks because I got them for free. So the bottom line is, guys, your equipment has to grow according to the level of your skill. Like, I love to give this example because this is such a teachable moment. This example, I mentioned this once before on one of my episodes. A few months back at the beginning of the season, guys, I was cutting through this neighborhood to go do an estimate. And I seen this guy. Oh my God, guys, I wish I would have taken out my phone and recorded like maybe like 15-20 minute 20-second video to show you guys. This guy was washing a house in this neighborhood, And this guy had a rig system, guys. Wow, this thing was fancy. It was probably a $25,000, $30,000 rig system. It was one of those aluminum skids. It had all the bells and whistles on it. And I stopped on the other side and I was watching him for a little bit. Guys, guess what? He was washing these people's house with this super expensive system, and he was wearing Crocs. Yeah, you heard me right. Crocs. He wasn't wearing a boot, professional equipment. I mean, professional a uniform. He didn't have a shirt. He was wearing just like a regular t-shirt and wearing Crocs. But guess what? That wasn't even the worst part. There was no lettering, no marketing of any kind on his vehicle. So imagine that, guys. You're dumping $20,000 to $30,000 into a rig system, but you can't dump any money into a $60 shirt, into putting at least some lettering. Oh no, at least a magnet, something on your truck. Imagine for a second, guys, that you're the neighbor of that house and you hear some noise and you look out the window, right? Because all the neighbors are nosy, right? Look out the window. They see a guy in Crocs washing a house. There's no lettering on a truck. You think they're going to walk over there to get his business card? Like, let's be real here. Like, image, that's why they say that saying, image is everything. And you know what they say about first impressions, right? So, guys, the bottom line is, it's not equipment that's going to make you a lot of money. It's marketing. And actually, that segues real nice actually into number 4 on our list. Guys, we're talking about branding versus marketing. A lot of you guys, you're confusing the two. Now, I bring this up, guys, by the way, because we are actually doing a episode where we're going to do a deep dive into the difference between branding and marketing. So, and I'm going to give you guys some great examples of branding and what that looks like. But the bottom line is, what you guys are doing is actually called marketing and not branding. And you should be doing a combination of both, leaning very heavy towards the branding side. And I'll give you guys a great example of what this looks like. So marketing is the process that you use to acquire a customer. Okay, you guys got that? So marketing is how you get a customer. Branding is the process of building a reputation in the marketplace. So marketing gives you the customer, branding gives you the reputation. And what you guys really want is you want to build your reputation in the marketplace while you're doing marketing. Like, I'll give you guys a great example. A lot of guys on YouTube will teach you, you know, with yard signs, you just want to put pressure washing on there and a big phone number. And I don't teach that. And the reason why I don't teach that is because that's marketing. Imagine you're driving somewhere and you just see a big sign on the corner somewhere, and that sign says pressure washing and a phone number. It's in today's modern age, guys, that's kind of sketch. Because, you know, you got to ask yourself, the question is, why don't they put their name on there? Like, I want to look them up. I want to see their reviews. I want to see their pictures. Why don't they have their website on there? Do they not have a website? Like, what's going on? It makes you kind of doubt, like, that whole company, and you're not going to call them because, again, it looks sketchy. That looks sketchy. But when you see a piece of marketing that has your website, your phone number, guys, how many of us listening to this right now, how many of you have, you know, when you're looking for a new restaurant or something in a certain area, how many times do you Google, you know, you put on Google that, you know, whatever food, spaghetti, whatever you're looking, and then you look at the restaurant that you want and you read the reviews? Do you guys do that? Yes or no? We all do that. We all do that. It's a big part of culture now. It's a big part of what we do as a society. So when you put in pressure washing, the phone number's in there, the name of what you do is in there, they're going to look you up, they're going to want to see your reviews and all that. So guys, make sure that when you're doing marketing, that your marketing is building your brand. And that is my point. But here's my other point that I'm trying to make with this. Guys, and this is connected with the third one when we were talking about equipment. Guys, your money, the vast majority of your money, and when I say the vast, I would say at the very bare minimum, 70% of your money, when you're investing money in your company, your money should be invested into branding and marketing and not equipment. Let me say that again. So I'm going to use the example of, let's say you have $10,000 in credit or in cash. I'm going to use $7,000 to create branding and marketing, and then $3,000 to buy equipment. And what you guys are doing is you spend $9,800 in equipment and you got $200 left over for marketing, or none. That's what you guys are doing. And I don't understand that. You should be developing a boots on the ground marketing strategy, have it optimized. Google My Business. Again, I mentioned this a million times. Google My Business is free. Have a website you can do. You don't have to do an expensive one like mine. You can go through GoDaddy. It's super cheap. It's like $300-400 a year. Get a website through GoDaddy, right? So you can get some online presence. Get yourself a Nextdoor app. Invest in marketing and branding, guys. That's my point. I talked about this in my video series, developing a referral program out there for your business, right? So customers are recommending you to other people. The bottom line, guys, is I want you guys that are just, you're dumping all of your eggs in the equipment basket. Shift. You guys need to do a shift. You guys need to dump all of your eggs into the marketing / branding basket, because that's how you're going to get that consistent cash flow into your business. And guess what? If you get the minimum level equipment, right? You get your 4-gallon-a-minute machine. You can get used tanks on Facebook, used hoses on Facebook. And then as your skill set is growing, you just upgrade your equipment because you got this constant flow of customers coming into your business. You know how many times, guys, I've had guys say to me, man, I just dumped $20,000-25,000 into equipment. I don't have any money for marketing right now. I got to get out there and try to get a couple jobs so I can get some money so I can have money to make a flyer. That doesn't make any sense. You see what I'm saying here, guys? Like, make sure that you dump a vast majority. Guys, I cannot stress this enough. All of your money, most of your money should be focused on acquiring customer, developing a sound marketing strategy / branding for your company. Again, I refer you guys to episode 51. Watch it multiple times, my marketing series, and that's going to help you tremendously. And remember, guys, in the next few weeks, within the next week or two, I am doing a branding. That's why I'm not doing a deep dive here on it, because I'm doing a separate video on that subject. Next on my list, number 5, we're talking about development issues. Now, what I mean by that is this, guys. A lot of you guys, you're very focused on the act of actually doing the job out in the field, and you're so focused on that. Like, you're focused on being awesome at pressure washing, at house washing, at soft washing. And I'm going to give you guys this great example. There's a guy in my area, and his business is about, I want to say 5, maybe 6 years older than mine, and we network a lot. Like, we go to the same networking events, and we talk to each other on a consistent basis and stuff. We help each other out. Sometimes I send him customers, and we network. The bottom line is we network. And so what's funny is this dude does amazing work. Like, man, his skill set out in the field is phenomenal. Like, I don't know anyone who's ever like better in the field than him. I mean, it's something to behold. He's truly amazing work ethic, knowledge base is through the roof and all that. Amazing technician. And guys, I've seen multiple hundreds of rig systems throughout, the 11 years that I've been doing this, and I've built myself over 50. I don't hold a candle, not a candle. I don't even come close to building, to being able to build like him. He has a gift. It's almost like the dude's an engineer. Like, he's amazing. Like, wow, amazing at building rigs. I'm okay. I mean, I get by, and I can build professional rigs for myself, but not to his level. Like, he is next level of being able to build rigs. But here's my point. He sucks at marketing, and he sucks at sales. You see what I'm saying? So his business is nowhere near. He does, on a monthly basis, he does 10% of what I do. And his business is older than mine. Okay? And he does I do 90% more business than him on a month-to-month basis. Because I'm a great marketer. I'm a great salesperson. because I developed myself in the 4 areas. Remember, we talked about SOMA, right? Sales, operations, marketing, administration. I developed my abilities in other areas, not just the field. That's why I did my marketing series, and within that actual series, we also talked about sales, right? So make sure, and here's my greater point, make sure, guys, that you're developing other skills. Remember what I said, that your pay is a reflection of your skills? You're going to have to develop sales ability. You're going to have to develop abilities to be able to get out there and target market, network with people. And each skill, guess what, guys? Each skill that you learn is going to equate to more zeros in your bank account. That is just the bottom line. If you guys, for example, if you're very adamant that you don't want to learn sales, you don't want to learn marketing, you're just going to hire somebody out to do that, I'm telling you right now, you're just absolutely not going to grow your business. You have to develop yourself. You buy books, watch videos, and of course, guys, you know, you're listening to this, you're watching this, you're already on that student mentality path, and I absolutely commend you for that, and I believe in you, and I believe that you guys are going to have great success as long as you, again, apply the knowledge that you are learning here on the Mr. Bubbles channel. Okay, so number 6 on our list, almost every single new guy commits this mistake. I would say like 99.999999% of new guys commit this mistake, and it is this: pricing too low. You guys are so desperate for getting work, right? That you're going out there and you're lowballing everybody. You're just, you'll do it for $50, $100 just to get the work. And then the reason why you're doing that is because you don't really understand what the industry is about. You're not a true professional yet. And you're actually not just harming yourself, you're harming the industry when you do that, right? Because essentially what I'm trying to say is this when I talk about harming yourself. Because what happens is, because you are giving low prices, it's actually having the opposite intention of what you want. A lot of people will not hire you because they see that your pricing is too low, so therefore they think that what you do is unprofessional services. Because people know that you have to pay well if you want to hire a professional. You see where I'm getting with that, guys? Because here in the country, this great country that we live in, that's how all of this works. That's how all of this works. If you want to have quality anything, food, clothes, anything, housing, it's going to cost money. That's just how it all works. So why would it be any different in the service industry? Your best companies, your successful companies, they're going out there and they're going to charge well. I've often said this on my channel. You should not be charging less than $200. I don't care where you are in the country, less than $250 for a house wash. And I used this example a few weeks ago. There's a guy in my area here in Southern Maryland. He's putting out like 400 or 500 yard signs a month, where on the yard sign it just says, house washing, any house, $1,500, and a phone number. Has no name. You don't know who that is. There's no website, nothing. It's just like that. Any house, $150. Here's my phone number. You see how unprofessional that is? And guess what? That guy, he's not hurting me. I'm still rocking it. My customers are not going to that guy because that's unprofessional. They know that that's a guy who's in his first year. He's a truck in a truck. He probably running his business out of the trunk of his car. And when he shows up with all that unprofessionalism to people's homes, that's not going to that's not going to get referrals. You see what I'm saying? So make sure, guys, that you have a sound strategy when it comes to pricing, right? You want to be, maybe you don't want to be the highest guy in your market, right? I don't recommend that if you don't know what you're doing yet, but you want to be right there charging for house washes, for example. anywhere between 13 to 17 cents a square foot, depending on your area. Some of you guys are out here doing house washes for $100. All you're doing is harming the industry and harming yourself. Within a few months, maximum 1 year, you're going to be out of business. You're going to be doing something else, because you're never really going to be able to develop yourself in this business if you do not get the pricing right. Okay, and finally, guys, the last thing I wanted to talk to you about on this one, number 7 on our list here of the common mistakes that new guys make, is we're talking about mindset. Okay, we're talking about 2 things: mindset and how it relates to skill set. Okay, and it's funny because if you guys noticed, the very first episode of our marketing series, we talked about mindset. We talked about the proper mindset that you need, and then we also talked about the mindset of the customer that you need. Okay, it's very important for you to understand that, guys, if you do not have the right mindset, the equipment you have won't matter. The new truck you just bought, that won't matter. Nothing else, your nice uniforms, nothing of that will matter if you do not have the right mindset. And I'll give you guys a great example. There's a guy I know, and he's another guy that's part of my network. And it's funny because every single time I talk to him, and the subject of pricing, he's been in a business about 3 or 4 years less than me. So I've been, I'm a little bit older than him in the business. He's been around for about 7, 8 years. And when the subject of pricing comes up, his market is about an hour away from me. And he always says this: if you were in my market, you wouldn't be able to get those prices. And the funny thing is, I never say anything to him, but because he thinks that way, I understand this. Because he thinks that way, he's never going to grow his business. No matter what I say, no matter how I try to change his mind, he has this stuck in his mind that in his market there's a cap on pricing, and you can't go above certain pricing. Guys, guess what? I guarantee you, it doesn't matter where you are listening to me right now. There's a few guys, maybe it's only a handful of guys, but I guarantee you there's a company in your area that they are charging unbelievable prices. I often use this example, or maybe I mentioned it twice in my channel. There's a guy in my area, and he's a guy, I've seen him at networking events, and I know of him because he has one of the largest pressure washing companies in the country. And I was recently talking to him because we actually ran into each other in a kind of like a marketing event type dealio. But anyway, so here's my point. He told me, we were talking about the subject of pricing, and he told me he does not touch a house wash for less than $800. And here we are, our minimum is like $375, but most of our pricing is $399 and up. He does not touch a house wash for less than $800. Guys, what are we doing with you guys that are not understanding that it's all about what you believe you can achieve? Let me say that again. What you believe you can achieve. If you're going out there and you think that, no one's going to pay you $300-400 to wash your house, guess what? You're right. No one is going to pay you that. But if you go out there and you think, you know what? My value is high. I have a tremendous amount of self-esteem and confidence in myself, and I am going to pretend right now that I already run $1 million company, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to give pricing as such, like I'm already worth $1 million. And guess what? You're going to attract that for yourself. So I highly recommend, if you're going to jump into this business and you want to succeed, you need to make sure that from the get-go, you have the right mindset. And what I mean by right mindset, you have a growth mindset and you have a student mentality mindset. Because all of the other stuff, you can just look up pricing. You can just look up, good equipment and procedures and systems. You can research all of that stuff, but you got to come from a position of student. You got to come from a position of wanting to learn those things, and that's really what I mean by mindset. Okay, and now how that segues into skill set. I wanted to talk about this. So a few months ago, I watched this video, and I highly recommend you guys, once you finish this video, you watch this episode or this video that Cody from Southeast Southwash. You go to his channel and you just type in the search bar there, Mindset, skill set, and tool set. I think that, yeah, that's what the title was. So I watched this video of his a couple months ago, so I wanted to give a shout out to Cody, because that's one of my guys right there. Guys, if you need good chemicals, good equipment, that's the guy to go to. He's got a great company, been in the industry. He's one of the main dudes, you know, one of the godfathers of the industries, if you will. So I highly recommend him. That's his soap right here, guys. Look, that's one of his soaps right there. You see that? Dynamite Degreasers. It's one of our go-to soaps. So the bottom line, guys, is this. He put out this video where he titled it Mindset, Skill Set, and Tool Set. And he talked about this, and I loved what he said about it. He said that a lot of you guys are so focused on getting the right equipment, when in reality it's all about having the right mindset, within time developing the skill set, and then lockstep to that, your tool set or your equipment will grow as your skill set grows. And I love the analogy, and that's why I want to give props to him for saying this, is that he said this in video, and I love it. I love this example, this analogy. He said, you can give a monkey a hammer, but it don't make him a carpenter. Right? You can give a monkey a hammer, but that don't make him a carpenter. And Cody said that. And I love that, because if you go out there and you think, oh, I got all this awesome equipment, I'm going to make all of this awesome money, does not work that way. Got to have the right mindset, develop the skill set. I said this example, guys, 1,000 houses is going to take you anywhere between a year to 3 years to accomplish that. But get after it. Make sure, I did the count in my head. The very first 100 houses was like a milestone for me. I remember I hit 100, and then from 100 to 900 was kind of a black hole. But it took me a while. It took me almost 2 years to get to that, the other 900 houses. So shoot for that, guys. Make sure you're developing yourself out in the field. If you have any questions, anything that you have doubt on, make sure that you email me. I send you guys tons of great information. So I love interacting with you guys. So, but there you have it, guys. Make sure that you guys are not committing any of these mistakes, because, guys, these are cardinal mistakes. Some of these would be like stepping on a bear trap. Okay, so make sure that you pay attention to what you're doing, because I want to see you guys grow. And that's all I got for you guys today. I really, really appreciate you coming to my channel and watching this pressure washing business advice video. Highly recommend you guys watch the next episode as well. Guys, in the next episode, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do a house wash. So I'll catch you guys over there, and please email me. I absolutely love it when you guys email me. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bubbles out.